What's up guys, Chris here again, and a lot of stuff I want to talk about as of late, but something that developed this afternoon was a press release from the FAA regarding remote ID and the process to implement its framework. Now look, I know that not everybody is on board with remote ID tech. It's a touchy subject. I don't have a problem with remote ID. Let's face it, when you have clowns like this
is the kind of thing that really pisses me off, and it makes more regulations as we watch now. I even hate showing this, but you can see how close he gets, and he can't even pan right. You can tell what an inexperienced pilot he is because it's a herky-jerky pan.
And this. And let's not forget about this. Constantly breaking the rules, we're going to have to look into how to keep them from being idiots and keep our manned aircraft safe while they're in the air. I do, however, have some major concerns with how they've proposed to tackle it. For example, making pilot information pretty easily accessible to people not involved with the flight or the FAA. I see the benefit in law enforcement having access to it, as well as the obvious benefit of the FAA having access to it when it comes to managing airspace and making sure everybody's following the rules. But when you look at it from the perspective of anyone that can access my remote ID signal, whether it's through legitimate or illegitimate means, can now find me where I'm flying my drone and where my drone is in the airspace, it starts to get a little bit sketchy, especially if that's somebody that you don't necessarily want to have that information. Essentially, we are going to have some problems. And I don't mean the small stuff where somebody confronts me because they think I'm a creep for flying in a park or near their house. I'm talking about potentially dangerous situations that could put my well-being or the well-being of my crew in jeopardy. It's not unheard of to think that outside entities could track me down and hurt me to take my gear or other valuables that I might have on me during my flight. Not to mention, if anyone is able to track me and interrupt my flight at any capacity, what kind of danger does that potentially pose to the air traffic around my drone? Anyway, this has been hashed out already, and just about everybody has an opinion on it. Now you don't mind if you didn't already. What I want to discuss today is the announcement of the 8 companies that are going to be assisting the FAA in developing the remote ID technology. In a press release sent out today by the FAA, the following statement was made. The FAA selected the following companies to develop technology requirements for future remote ID UAS service suppliers, USS: Airbus, AirMap, Amazon, Intel, OneSky, Skyward, T-Mobile, and Wing. These companies were selected through a request for information process in December 2018. I see potential issues with some of this, mainly focused around Amazon and T-Mobile. Not that the others aren't important to pay attention to as well, but I'm not as concerned about the intentions of companies like AirMap because I feel like they will do what is best for their business, and that is maintaining relatively good standing with those of us that fly UAVs. The reason I'm chiefly concerned about Amazon and T-Mobile being at the front of this issue is as follows, starting with Amazon. 1. We are not naive. Amazon has been posturing itself to have aerial delivery services via drones for the past 10 years. The conversations at this table are going to be about how to regulate air traffic and keep tabs on the aircraft in any given airspace. If you don't think for a moment that Amazon is going to angle regulations to benefit commercial delivery drones over those of other pilots, Part 107 or hobbyists, you've got a screw loose. Also, let's not forget that Amazon is the leading online marketplace. The drone industry is no exception to that. The drone industry's total sales revenue is estimated to jump by 60% in the coming year, and Amazon is licking their chops at that thought alone. The one market that is a relative thorn in Amazon's side is the market for custom FPV drones. While parts can be purchased on Amazon, the real money is in the ready-to-fly drones that come right out of the box. That may not be true on a cost-to-cost basis, but when it comes to people buying drones, the majority of people, especially beginners, are buying ready-to-fly drones that include DJI, Autel, Skydio, whatever doesn't require assembly or some knowledge of engineering. When it comes right down to it, they're going to push for ready-to-fly drones to be the only option, or at least the only convenient option, for people to purchase on their website. Again, that's where they make their money. And that's coming from somebody that has very little experience with wiring, electricity, engineering, building his own drones. I am a ready-to-fly pilot. As far as T-Mobile is concerned, it's scummy to even think that most ready-to-fly drones require a cell phone or mobile device to effectively fly, and here sits a mobile provider ready to give their input on the remote ID regs and technology. While I think the possibility of T-Mobile monopolizing the market is highly unlikely, I do think that, especially in the beginning stages of all of this, there's going to be potential for people who don't use T-Mobile, like myself, to experience some massive bugs because the tech is going to be designed in favor of T-Mobile infrastructure. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of knowledge on how T-Mobile could possibly benefit, but my spidey senses are definitely tingling, and all I can say is,
I don't feel so good.
It's just fishy, and I feel it's slimy to see some of these companies hopping into bed with the FAA right before our eyes, and with no shame at all. Look, I'm just a guy with a drone and an opinion. I'm not the leader in knowledge as it relates to remote ID and how it will impact us in the long term. I only know what I can understand, and that is remote ID as it sits now is not good for anybody, except for those at the very tippy top. I know that keeping tabs on the air traffic makes sense, and these drones that we fly can cause serious risk to manned aircraft if they go unchecked, so regulation in some way, shape, or form is what we need. I'm fine with remote ID, but I'm not fine with having the game rigged to benefit the few rather than the many, especially if the few is the likes of Jeff Bezos, that reptilian-ass cue ball looking mother. Alright, that's not nice. I'm not looking to go to war with Jeff Bezos. Honestly, I'm not worth his time, but I am looking for answers and direction here. The FAA has been operating in this vague gray area for the past few years, and everybody's sort of gotten comfortable with that and started to find their comfort zone when it comes to flying within that. Now all of a sudden they want to change the rules, and they want to do it with the direction of these multi-million-dollar entities and these people that will benefit greatly from rigging the game. I'm not okay with that. This is like a roller coaster, and we're about to hit this big loop they're going to throw us for. I want to get off and get a new ticket. That's all I want with this. Those of you that are familiar with me and my journey with Drone Geek Lancaster and Drone Geek Productions understand that I just invested a lot of money starting my aerial solutions business, and to have the game rigged against me so that I could potentially have made this giant investment and have none of it pay off is really, really scary. I'm not concerned about not being able to do business in the future. I'm concerned about being able to do business conveniently and without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. When it comes right down to it, making this process too difficult to fly my drone is going to make it way harder than it's worth to earn money. I might as well just sell my drone and just take what I can get for it, cut my losses, and move on. Come to think of it, maybe I'll get one of those underwater drones. The FAA can't stop me there, can they? Wait, can they? That's it for me today, guys. If you liked this video, demolish that like button for me. While you're at it, smash that subscribe button too. And if you really want to see me carry on and fly my drone, hit that bell icon for notifications every time I post a video. It helps me out a lot, and I cannot say that enough. A lot. I promise, my content is not all doom and gloom. If you just started watching me on this video, go check out some of my stuff in the past. It's a lot more fun. Until next time, have a good day.